Let me now bring in Rowan Callick, who's an industry fellow at Griffith University's Asia Institute. Good to talk to you again, Rowan. You've been sitting there listening to my glowing assessment, really, of Anthony Albanese and Penny Wong's start. What do you think? In the first 3 or 4 weeks of their diplomacy, how's that positioned Australia?
I agree with you, Chris. I've been very impressed, and this is the real difference between us and big strategic competitor China. We've got friends, we've got allies, and we're trying to make those friendships and alliances count. I think that's really crucial, and you've got to be there. You've got to be in it to win it. And they've gone there. Admittedly, the previous government had problems in travel with COVID, but now you can travel. They've gone there. They've made the right speeches, as you say, and China's having a lot of troubles of its own at home, which is making its attempts to extend its control overseas more difficult.
Yeah, I want to come back to China's problems in a moment, but sticking on the performance of Penny Wong and Anthony Albanese, they always said that they would maintain Australia's position on China on a range of other issues.
Yeah.
They extended, especially in the lead up to the election, the idea of bipartisanship. So do you think they're always going to be like this, or do you think perhaps in their initial briefings they might have been confronted with the reality and realised just how strong Australia needed to be?
I think they did their homework. I think that's clear. I don't think it comes from just a few minutes of briefing while in the plane. Yep. They had good people with them, like Greg Moriarty and Andrew Shearer flying up with them. But I think they'd already done their homework. And what they've done is to make sure that the inevitable, predictable calls for a reset in the relationship, which is never going to be possible in this national Congress year in China, where no one's going to pick up the political capital taken to change policy, particularly with us, with commercial coercion, the wrongly imprisoned people, and the no speaks with ministers. No one's going to change that this year. So that's the real reset that matters, but it won't happen. And the tone may change a bit, I think. And on December 21st, we've got the 50th anniversary of the diplomatic relation with China. Well, we can offer to do and say some pleasant things at that time too. We'll see if China wants to come with us.
Now, you rightly mentioned that Anthony Albanese and Penny Wong get good advice from seasoned diplomats like Andrew Shearer and Greg Moriarty and others. It's another thing to actually deliver it right in front of a camera. You've got to get the tone right. I think they certainly did that with China initially. But it's gone beyond China, related to China, I suppose, getting into the South Pacific. Twice already, Penny Wong, getting in there, making sure Australia is in the game. And I thought that the visit to Indonesia was pitch perfect too. So they're actually... they're doing more than they were expected to do. Like going to the Quad, they kind of had to do that, right? Even though it was only a few days after the election. But the really clear focus on the Pacific, and more than just a fleeting visit to Jakarta too. They made it a 2-day visit, broadened it out with business leaders and some other ministers. I just think it's pretty clever diplomacy.
That's right. Indonesia's going to be crucial for Southeast Asian relations. It's by far the biggest place in ASEAN, and ASEAN's been cautious so far about the kind of moves that those of us in the Quad have wanted to see strategically. And we need to win people over. You don't do that just by rhetoric. So by saying, keep China out, that doesn't keep China out. China will be there. But by showing that we are intentionally going to want to step up our game in terms of business relations, people-to-people links and so forth, and to listen as well as to talk, that's really going to change things. And in the Pacific, trust is what matters. You can talk about being a family member, but you have to earn that.
Yeah, and you've got to turn up, and you've got to have a lot of ministers turning up there regularly, and I think that's what we'll see, and that's what we should see. Just briefly before I want to get back to your observations on China. You're saying that China is facing all sorts of problems, economic and social, really, as they're still trying to enforce zero COVID, which we all know is impossible.
This is a bad year for Xi Jinping because he needed stability. He's got this party congress, 5-yearly congress, coming up when he's looking for another 5 years in office. He needs another 5 years. He wanted everything calm. But he's persisted with these policies on zero COVID and on what in the economic realm has been pretty disastrous, attacking the tech companies, attacking the real estate sector, which contains 80% of Chinese people's savings. And so we're seeing big problems. This year, Australia's economic growth will be faster than China's. A long time since that's happened.
That is extraordinary.
And so I think the idea that we need to abandon our self-respect in a way in order to please China is a foolish move, because China itself is right now struggling. It's a big place. We do need to maintain relationships, of course. It's important. We have many Chinese Australians who are doing great things. But it's not a graph that's going up and up forever.
Thanks for joining us, Rowan. Really appreciate your insights.
OK, Chris. Thanks.
Rowan Callick there from Griffith University.